see what I can find. Shit, up there, I want this. Damn it. I put the wrong arm one. Fuck. I knew I fucked up somehow. God damn it. But there are fucking bullets in me again. Perfect. I might be Martin cursed, given that that guy just lagged it like that. I get it good. Hell if I didn't forget my fucking... or, yeah. Right gun, wrong ammo. Very clever. Okay, got a gun. 5. Ooh. Not good. I've managed to get some good shit with less, so. That is SKS part, I believe. Just shotgun fucking him. That scout shooting off. Probably a shotgun or something. Which is better armor than I have. I might try to knob that. That was not scav. Press as a player. Pretty sure that was player. I'm dead. Yep. You heard someone. bullshit.
Because the UK exists, that means Harry Potter's real. Or New York means that Spider-Man is a true story. It doesn't mean that, but that is akin to what she's saying here.
Here are just a very select archaeological findings that support the Bible. Many ancient cities such as Babylon, Ur, Beersheba, they're mentioned in the Old Testament, have been located and date back to coordinating times in the Bible. There's also proof of the Hittite population. These were enemies of the Israelites that didn't exist until the 19th century. What is believed to be the city of Sodom was discovered and appeared to be abandoned suddenly, as stated in Genesis 19.
Okay, so there's a few things to clarify here. For one thing, with the Sodom deal, there's been a place that's been discovered in the general area where biblical scholars think that Sodom would have existed that was hit by an asteroid. This is found in a Forbes article that discusses a recent scientific discovery, but not scientific, archaeological, with one caveat: the archaeologist is actually Philip J. Sylvia of, and see if you can guess this, Trinity Southwest University. Do you know what Trinity Southwest University is? Ding, ding, ding. If you guessed a Christian unaccredited university, you would be correct. So it's an unaccredited Christian doctrinal university that's produced this archaeologist, which he's from there. I don't know if he got his archaeology degree from there, but he apparently teaches at the university, and he's an archaeologist, and he's established that this is Sodom, when in reality they don't know that it is Sodom. They haven't actually shown that it's Sodom. Like, they haven't found street signs that say Whore Street Sodom or something like that. They haven't found that. All they found is a city that once existed in this one place. It seems to have been hit by an asteroid or a giant meteorite. So they just flat out say, oh, this must be Sodom, because it checks off all of the fire and brimstone and destruction type thing of Sodom. They have a name for it. Tal El Hammam is the city name. The Forbes article that I have concludes that if Tel El Hammam is Sodom and it was destroyed by a cosmic airburst, the biggest question remains: did somebody, perhaps a deity, order the asteroid hit on Sodom? She's just automatically assuming, and so is this archaeologist, automatically assuming that this is Sodom. But it just seems to me like the Sodom and Gomorrah story is bullshit that's meant to teach some kind of lesson to the Israelites, that you gotta obey God and not want to gay fuck his angels, and also be opening to people to your home in order to not get destroyed by God. That's what it seems to tell me.
Jericho excavations show that it was violently destroyed, as the account details in Joshua 6. King David's palace was recovered. Herod the Great's palace was also found, where Jesus was tried.
Okay, so for Jericho, there has been archaeological evidence of Jericho existing, but it's got a caveat. It's got a little mark on it, right? The wall that surrounded Jericho collapsed or was destroyed by an earthquake in the late 17th century and early 16th century BCE. So right around that, straddling that line right there, the walls of Jericho were destroyed. Now the problem is that in the Bible, around 1400 BCE, Jericho was attacked by the Israelites by them marching around the city 7 times, blowing their horns and having a hissy fit. God destroyed the walls of Jericho and they invaded. Now, why is this an issue? Well, for one thing, the walls were destroyed late 17th to early 16th century BCE. Another problem is that from the late 15th century BCE to the 10th century BCE, the city was uninhabited. So the 15th century BCE starts in 1500 and runs down to 1400. So about 100 years prior to when the Israelites supposedly knocked down the walls of Jericho, Jericho was deserted. So if you want to imagine it, the Israelites are surrounding the city, this empty city, and then they storm an empty city. I don't know if they were doing this for practice or what, but it was empty. So there's no way that the biblical version of the Israelites taking on Jericho actually happened.
Stone tablets have been recovered proving that Pontius Pilate existed, which had been up for debate. The Bible lists detailed genealogies in Genesis, Numbers, Chronicles, Ezra, Matthew, and Luke. These confirm prophecy that Jesus was from the line of David and reinforce scriptural accuracy and historic timelines.
Wait. Which genealogy? Is it the Matthew genealogy that establishes all this bullshit? Or is it the Luke genealogy that establishes all this bullshit? Because they're both different. They're both not consistent with each other. Which one establishes this? Because I feel like you saying all of this bullshit means that it somehow confirms that it's reality or that it happened in history. It didn't.
The Bible is worth your attention on an academic level and a personal level. At least consider spending some time in the most printed book ever written, the one that shaped humanity more than any other. I'd like to end today with a quote from Clifford Wilson. However, it is remarkable that where confirmation is possible and has come to light, the Bible survives careful investigation in ways that are unique in all literature. Its superiority to attack, its capacity to withstand criticism, and its amazing facility to be proved right are all staggering by any standards of scholarship. Seemingly assured results have been disproving the Bible have a habit of backfiring.
What? What the fuck? No. So it's superiority to attack, being the Bible's superiority to attack, its capacity to withstand criticism. Are you fucking serious? You're gonna end with this particular quote because it cannot withstand criticism. It is not superior to attack. This entire quote right here reeks of just creationist bullshit. Unapologetic apologetics. It's just so horrible, this final quote, because nothing is true within this quote. All that you find within this quote right here is just blind faith, biased bullshit from somebody that has deep-throated Jesus's dick. That's all that you find in this quote. Only thing. So sad.
I hope you'll tune in next week when we ask, can we know if Jesus is the Son of God?
I just find it so fucking hilarious, you know, that these people think that they've got some kind of fucking gotcha for not just atheists, but just anybody that takes a critical look at the Bible and things that are said in the Bible. It amazes me how ridiculously clueless these people are, because all they do is they regurgitate things they've heard from like J. Warner Wallace, Lee Strobel, William Lane Craig, these basic ass apologists for the faith. They just regurgitate and repeat what they hear from these people, and they don't come up with anything new. They just baselessly claim these things, and they don't have any evidence behind them. How are you supposed to convince somebody that doesn't already believe in your bullshit that your bullshit is real? I feel like you gotta look past the apologetics on this. You have to look at the actual evidence. Why is it evidence? Why does it mean that the Bible is accurate? Why does it mean that Jesus even existed in history? Why does it mean that the gospel message is fucking consistent? It's not fucking consistent. But they want to act like it is. It's just, it really grinds my fucking gears. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk on how dumb as shit the Bible and its consistency is. I really appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to stand up, use your voice, and all that kind of good shit. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you like this kind of live stream. And I will see you heathens later.
Give me light. Give me light. There's not more bodies. Someone clearly done some killing.
Шалава! Ну и чё, тут есть кто, нет?
Кайфуем.
Чудова пиш, хмель! Ебанский парика!
I said already. Can lock a door in another PMC. Yep.
Today marks a whopping 1,354 days since I released.
My gentle and of course very modern apes, I've got a real treat for you today. We are going to be watching one of perhaps the most ironic videos that I've ever seen here on www.youtube.com. This video encompasses a conversation had between a handful of creationists, a couple of which are young earth creationists, and a polytheist. The polytheist is going to be arguing against evolution, and accidentally, the young earth creationists are going to be arguing for it. I find this to be an absolute delight. So join me in this little stroll of ours into the darkest depths of
That's
some of
because
the
creationists
most,
are
far
fucking
reaches
idiots.
of YouTube.
They've always been idiots. They will never stop being idiots. Okay, that one might sell quite well. Get the BP. That's a trade item. Sell that. Sell that. Trade item. Sellable. Sellable. Sellable.
So this video is on the YouTube channel Logical Plausible Probable, run by a one John Maddox, that guy up there, titled the LPP. I have opinions about both this channel and the folks who are here, so let's get that out of the way right off the bat. Below us here is Sentinel Apologetics. He's a theistic evolutionist, generally a cool guy. I've never had any issues with him, and he seems pretty smart. Sunflower, who is over here, also a chill dude. I think he's theistic evolutionist as well. No qualms there. Sal over here at the upper whatever. Directions are weird for this thing. Sal, I like Sal. Sal's a young Earth creationist. There are a lot of people here on YouTube who have opinions about Sal. I've never had an issue with Sal. I think he's a real sweet dude. And his expression currently, right there, like that is just gonna like that's going to be an excellent accompaniment and a very proper reaction to pretty much this this entire video, at least on my end. Patrick, that guy, Andrew Graham, Eddie Chapman, and the dude below me, Joel, or Joel, I've heard people say it both ways, not in real life, just on YouTube. I don't know these guys, I don't really have opinions on them. And Bubble, down here, on our bottom, whatever, your bottom right, is our antagonist of the evening. The main players are going to be Bubble versus Sunflower there, and John up there, the LPP. John Maddox is a very unsavory character in my opinion. Those of you who have followed my exploits here on YouTube know that I'm a pretty hard person to get to hate you, but I really don't like John. I think that he is the absolute most concentrated distillation of the Dunning-Kruger effect that I've ever witnessed in my life. Worse even than what you see over on the other Young Earth creationist YouTube channels. John has no formal education when it comes to anything in biology or genetics for that matter, but he is very comfortable talking about it as if he is an authority figure, and doing so quite rudely in my opinion. There is a high lack of civility coming from this guy. Pretty much in any interaction that he has with someone who disagrees with him.
You do get that, right? Like,
I know what you're saying, because honestly, I think you're full of crap, and you're an ignorant. I think you're amazingly ignorant. You
I mean,
so many
I feel the same way about you, John.
Well,
I don't know why you keep saying it.
Tell you what, I will debate you on abiogenesis after you respond. Probably tomorrow evening, I will release my video on the code argument. If you actually give me a remotely coherent response in relation to information theory and communication theory, and I'll have a debate with you.
I mean, John, you're the one who wanted to have a debate with me in the first place.
Well, I'm not going to waste my time if you can't actually respond on that topic.
And I find it very humorous that he behaves with such arrogance because he messes up the simplest concepts of the paradigm that he's trying to overturn. He doesn't know what a ribose is. Maybe he does now, but he goofed up what a ribose is. Ribose is sugar. In a debate with me where he was trying to overturn the concept of abiogenesis.
Let's see. The next one is from Dapper Dino. The question is for both. How does the recent discovery of persistent ribose in asteroids impact your ideas about abiogenesis/ID?
Assuming it's the one from last year, there's two things about that. One, okay, they may have seen some amino acids. They think this might be a protein, not 100%, but what often gets glossed over is the fact that this asteroid that they're referring to crashed into Africa, I think back in 1989, and they didn't, quote-unquote, discover this protein until literally 30 years later.
That's like Biochem 101. You learn that in high school biology. It's like a really basic concept. He also has had demonstrated extensive misunderstandings at the very baseline cornerstone level of evolutionary theory, proposing, for instance, that hominin fossils can be explained by phenotypic plasticity, which is, of course, insane, and arguing that if a human today was born with wings, that evolutionists would be crying that this is the best evidence for evolution.
I really want you to come in here and tell me that if you started metamorphosizing.
Oh, let's get some money. Just many runs at the minute. Run, fucker, run. They cut it up this body, cut across and they hit that stone. Then probably back out, hug the left. Just get the edge actually. That way things spawn off. Hopefully pass me straight by. too much issue. I do believe that is gas kicking off. Yep. I get up to the back wall, this will be relatively alright. All things considered. If I go super wide, I might be able to wide combat. So they get armed. Alright, that spawn should hopefully be focused on going to Markstream. That spawn seems to have fucking want the gas, which is good for... Or not. Let's get that in my back line so I can get in the bush and fix this fucking blade. Did not expect someone to still be up there. Give me a gun. No, no, okay. Be like that game. And if I leap in, I might see this kind of approach from me, I might not. Oh, okay. They said they're coming for me. I'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. So I avoid dying. Theory. Seen me go right, so he's going to go that direction at best. He probably won't hunt me, but you never know. I'd probably hunt me, at least a little. For all those juicy kills. Oh, I pissed real bad. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. So the best thing to do is to quietly approach one of the buildings after everyone kicks the shit out of each other. See what you can get. You'd be surprised how often it's effective. Grab that. Piss. Real bad. Half back building. There's 2 big weapon boxes in there. Well, 1 big one, 1 small one. The big one's often have weaponry. Yeah, people do not hit these. Often for good reason, often for not good reasons. Grab that stuff, it's all for crafting. That'll help me make a nade box, which is 300. That was up scab, I believe I just seen. Yep. Don't think. Does he see me? Oh, I die, aren't I? Alright, I want to get that fuel tank. I need to get a gun first. Before I can do anything. Can I get the grenade? No? Okay. Be like that game. There's a shotgunner down there somewhere. Can you give me a gun game? Best thing for one. That'll do the job. What have we got? Less than half M61. You got many shots at this, but we give it a go. I need to get that fuel tank. Probably hit enough XP to get my ass out of here without issue at this point. Ah! Am I on the right side of the map though? That's a better question. Yes I am, okay. So this way. Gotcha. Oh, come on. There we go. Go on. Give me that, give me that. What's left? New empty? Yeah, figured. Well, you do for the next rat run. I'll probably need shitty scope on you. 7k scope or something. Job's a good one. In fact, yep, you will do just fine. Don't know what that wasn't yet, but it'll do for now. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Some money made. Edge. There it is. Oh, that's a dead guy. I'll take your gun. I'll take your killer armor. Because I can. I'll take your night viz. Or not. I see where you are, bitch. How'd you not kill me? Come on out from behind that fucking thing, you bitch. Got him. Dumbass. Oh. There's no... He's definitely in there. Yep, there is. Alright. Pretty sure he knows how to swift my shot. Pretty sure. Does he think I'm in there with him? Do you know, I think he does. Edge. There it is. Oh, that's a dead guy. I'll take your gun. I'll take your killer armor. Because I can. I'll take your night viz. Or not. I see where you are, bitch. How'd you not kill me? Come on out from behind that fucking thing, you bitch. Got him. Dumbass. Oh. There's no... He's definitely in there. Yep, there is. Alright.
Have all of the diversity in just 2 animals, you would have to have a genome that is biologically impossible in size. Genomes can only get so big, right? There are some animals that max it out in base pairs. I think lungfish are one of them. They just have enormous genomes for whatever reason. But genomes are constrained in size. So you can't physically, according to the laws of physics in their relation to how DNA actually holds itself together, you can't have a genome that is big enough, to accompany all of the bats that exist today in just one progenitor kind. In fact, you can have more than that, and it's still not going to work. So right off the bat, a lot of front-loaded gibberish there. None of that makes any sense. It's completely unsubstantiated. But John is cool just saying that it happens. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
In terms of rapid speciation.
Okay.
Rapid speciation. You mean evolution? That's what it is. They just don't like the word.
So everybody's aware of that that argument. Well, here's the problem. Like, to me, that's just a rescue device. This is really nonsense.
True. I love this. I love Bubble coming in here because Bubble is kind of a wacko on a lot of stuff that he's going to come in and say later. But at the very least, he can point out this inconsistency among the younger creationists where he's like, yeah, that's just, it's nonsense.
To me, to say like a wolf will eventually give birth to like a chihuahua because there was this front-loaded genome is it's a stretch. It's like that's just not how it works.
So are you suggesting that through artificial selection that if you took 2 wolves, you don't think it's possible you could end up with a chihuahua?
No, you wouldn't. No, you would never end up with a chihuahua.
So, of course, Bubble is incorrect on this. We know for a fact that dogs come from wolves. We find dog-wolf hybrids in the fossil record spanning from about 40,000 years ago to now. We can trace dog genetics back and find out that they converge on this gray wolf-like organism living approximately 30,000-40,000 years ago. This is like really basic stuff. And, to back it up, like, Sunflower and John are right in this argument, right? Dogs did come from wolves. But the way that they're going to argue this is it's just evolution. They're using evolutionary concepts to actually get themselves there.
So that's sort of like the premise that I'm talking about is directly supported. Like, people agree with this. This has like been discussed by dog breeders about how yes, you give it enough time, you could, and through artificial selection, you'd be able to pull it off.
Given enough time, and through artificial selection. Artificial selection is just natural selection, but humans pick the traits. So theoretically, right, and this has been observed, I say theoretically because it's a part of evolutionary theory, but it's also been observed, right? Natural selection just behaves in the exact same way, except the environment is what is deciding, quote unquote. Of course, it's not directional, it doesn't have agency, but it is determining, I guess would be a better way of putting it, which traits are being selected for and how quickly they're being selected for in any given time.
Good.
Well, dog breeders are an authority on biology, I would say. And when dog breeders do, say, mixed dogs, they never attempted to take a wolf, and they never turned it into a chihuahua.
Well, wait, Bubble, like, do you realize that dogs evolved from wolves?
Evolve? What are you, an atheist?
No. Well, I'm saying, even if you assume, the kind position still concedes that things can, like, what they wouldn't use the word evolve, but I'm just using it like
devolve. Would you say devolve?
Well, I just don't get what your contention is. Do you not think in the framework of even the evolutionary framework, did modern domestic dogs, like the Chihuahua or the whatever, it did come from like. Do you have an alternative third-party explanation here? What am I?
So like that feel what Sunflower is feeling right now is how any scientist in any field feels when chatting to like young Earth creationists or flat earthers at any given moment when they're conversing with them. He's sputtering because he's actually floored by this idea that someone would come in and say, nope, I don't think dogs came from wolves. Something that is so ridiculously well substantiated in both the fossil record, genetically speaking, and even in the human historical record, that it is mind-boggling that someone could actually propose that that isn't the case. Now, Bubble isn't going to actually propose an alternative here, which is very interesting. But notice what Sunflower said there. They wouldn't use the word evolve. Of course they wouldn't. Even though that's what it is, they can't say that. So that's why they tend to use the word speciate or diversify. While the former of which is natural evolution by definition. The speciate is considered natural evolution in biology. Always has. But diversify is what they use about.
What am I missing here?
Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. God made a Chihuahua.
Okay, so
that is incredible. That beat of silence is kind of like, wait, what? And we're gonna continue to get a lot of this, right? It's an actual stunned silence. And the great irony here is again that this is how the term changes, right? Like.
Bubble, let's think about this for a second. If you have, it's like, okay, if you have a group of short people and a couple of tall people, but then only the short people keep mating, are you eventually always going to have? Is the height going to get shorter and shorter? Well, unless you insert a tall person back into the equation.
Well, no, this is I would say this is a bit of a straw man here. It's not like.
How is this a straw man? This is basic, like,
well, there's like
very basic genetics here.
Now, John is right on this, right? Like, what he's talking about, though, is, again, it's the same way that natural selection works. This is the same guy that thinks that evolution is, like, dumb and stupid and, like, posts these super cringe memes almost constantly on his community page about how dumb and stupid evolution is. But here he is. He's arguing for the same principles. And I bet if I sat down with John and I said, what exactly, genetically speaking, is the difference between artificial selection and natural selection? And he would say, well, there is an intelligence behind artificial selection. And it's like, okay, I understand that. Environmentally speaking, natural selection does the same thing. It picks traits that are desirable or boosts fitness, it should be more clear. It boosts fitness in a given environment. But functionally, these things occur the same way, right? Organisms with a certain trait are either coerced to breed by humans or intelligence, or they just do.
Just fucked up my leg.
They're either the only ones left, or they are
So I did.
more
I split.
they're less fit patriots or specifics, so they breed more, and you end up with the proliferation of that unique selected trait. They're the same thing. Now, John might propose here that artificial selection is basically what natural selection is, that God guides natural selection. That's fine. I don't really have an issue with that. If you want to say that, that's cool. But that gets you to theistic evolution. That doesn't get you to young Earth creationists.
I can just get painkillers. I can just run my guy. Real well.
Plausible, probable is a young Earth creationist. Don't ask him to defend it, though. He won't. I've tried to get him to.
Well, no, this is just like a defunction. People turning into midgets happen, but you would never have a Caucasian turn into an Asian. That would never happen. A black person will never turn into a Japanese person.
Now, of course, Bubble doesn't understand what the heck he's talking about at all. To defend Bubble here would be absolutely ridiculous. This guy is completely clueless when it comes to any words that are evidently coming out of his mouth. Because obviously, yes, a human isn't going to turn into another human. This is a fundamental misconception that happens with all creationists a lot. Individuals don't evolve. Populations do, right? So perhaps you might have a group of humans, right? And they live somewhere in the north. They begin to migrate south. Maybe they're following a herd of reindeer, right? And the sun becomes harsher. And as they continue to move south, maybe they change prey animals and they start hunting more southerly organisms, exposed to more sun, etc., etc. And the ones who have paler skin are going to be at higher risk for things like cancer. They're probably going to die younger at a higher rate than those who are born with darker skin with more melanin. And as we know, skin color is a part of the natural variation of humans, right? So any human that's born with darker skin would experience a selection the further south they live, and eventually you would end in a population that has darker skin than the
That's
original
it.
population.
Let's keep on moving and hope I get
It's
meds.
as simple as that, right? And you might be thinking, well, that sounds like it's going to take a long time. Yes, it would, which is why I think the concept eludes so many younger creationists, because they actually don't seem to have a concept of deep time. But so be it.
That's never gonna happen. You can have short and tall Japanese, sure.
What do you think albino people are? Are they...
Well, albinism is a defect. It even hurts Caucasians.
Right, no, that's fine, but
hey, listen. Do you think
they
that
look different?
Do you think anybody? Do you think that bulldogs are going to be in existence in another 100 years?
Yeah, but more sickly, yes. They'll still be bulldogs.
Right, more sickly.
Right now they don't think that bulldogs will exist in 100 years. Like, it's a serious problem.
I don't really know what John is talking about here. Who's they? Dog breeders, I would imagine, are on the consensus agree. They agree. Their consensus would be, that bulldogs in their current state, because of their brachycephalic faces and a litany of other health problems, like dysplasia, things like that they are too unhealthy to breed on their own. In fact, we know this already. Those bulldogs are conceived via artificial insemination, and then puppies tend to be delivered by C-section. They're that warped as a breed. So on their own and in their current state, John would be correct that I imagine the consensus is that bulldogs, but I mean probably prior to this, honestly. But there have been a lot of programs initiated by like the American Kennel Club that are trying to bring that breed back to its original state, where it's less brachycephalic and overall healthier. So, I mean, yeah, I would tentatively agree with that, but with the stipulation.
But do you actually not think that the bulldog is not the result of deletion and of different genes?
No, that is completely absurd.
Bubble, show me. Wait, Bubble, show me a domestic dog breed that is not more sickly than a wild wolf. Have you ever heard of mongrel vigor? The wild wolf is gonna beat any domestic dog breed every time.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how sickly they get. They're not gonna turn into a chihuahua. They'll turn into a defective, retarded wolf. Sure.
That's what a pug is.
No, a pug is.
That's what a pug is.
A pug is not a wolf.
A pug, you could describe a pug as a defective, retarded wolf. I wouldn't use that terminology, but I feel like that would probably actually be, like, scientifically accurate.
So, a few things here. One, apologies for the language going on here. I don't think it's very kind, but we're reviewing the video as it is. Sal in the side chat here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but he says the evolution, or the evidence that chihuahuas are descended from wolves is that dogs and wolves can hybridize, therefore they're essentially the same kind. Now, the kind stuff is, but yes, there is just an absolute metric tons worth of support for dog domestication and breed proliferation from the ancestral stock of Canaan that is very...
I cannot see my guy getting there.
Now, wolves and dogs are different species.
Yeah, that's right, because I have some valuables on my guy, but...
Canis familiaris. These two things are separate species. They can still interbreed. Hybridization doesn't necessitate that something is the same species, unless you're specifically talking about the biological species concept. But we could get into why that doesn't really work a lot. Like, for instance, Cretaceous would consider lions and tigers the same kind, and they can't hybridize and produce viable offspring. And American and Chinese paddlefish can interbreed, right? These things couldn't be more different, right? They diversified in the conventional sense like 200 million years ago. It's been quite a long time. So So genetics is weird is the long story short, but Sunflower and John are absolutely correct here. You can select for traits in any order and get something that is very different from its ancestral stock.
Now, at one point, the pug was fit. We made it retarded.
What, so now you're agreeing that you can use...
No, look, if you really want to prove this idea that there was deletion, you would have to show a fossil record of slow transmission. Yes, you would.
Now you're going back on your own point. You...
Look, is there
mechanisms here? You said that God made a Chihuahua. Now you're admitting that through sort of incestuous breeding, something can become a breed can become like inherently so defective that it's.
Same, Sal. Sal's just shaking his head. Of course, the elephant in the room here is that this is just a microcosm version of what creationists have done, right? Formally, now Bubble here formally is saying God created every single kind of dog, every single breed of dog, which is ridiculous, even within the creationist context. Now he's backtracking and saying that, well, humans did change the pug from something that was more fit and more robust into what it is now. Basically admitting that, yes, humans can tinker with the genetics of something and change it, or at its root level, the genetics of something can change and lead to some kind of evolution. This is just what creationists have done with the kinds, right? Because formally they said, no, God created every species as it is. Now we're getting the kinds argument from them. And everyone else is going, whoa, 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 just like Sunflower did here. You changed your position just now. Now you're saying that evolution does happen. So it's very ironic here.
Bad. That you just described the whole creationist position.
No, it's something becoming in circles. It's very simple. Dogs and wolves hybridize. That means they can interbreed. That suggests that they had a common ancestor.
Right. I just don't get Bubbles' point. It's weird. Like you're saying that every single breed was created, yet we can also selectively interbreed them and observe the thing that you're saying couldn't have happened to get them where they are now.
And this is the root of the problem. This is reaching peak irony. I think we've yet to climax on it, but just take Sunflower's words and apply them to the argument of kinds, right? First you were saying that everything was created separately. Now you're saying that genetics actually can be manipulated, and you can get something different from the ancestral stock. You can get evolution.
That's just weird to me. I don't really understand why. Like, just rewind 200 years. Instead of starting your position of every dog breed being created as it is now, and you get an antithesis to your point. Like, do you not think that dogs would look different if you? Oh.
He gone.
Okay.
There's more differences in between breeds of dogs than there are in between humans and chimpanzees.
I'm actually going to press X to doubt on that. I don't think that's. I think you could potentially have some differences that span that, but that would have to be two very specific, very ancestrally distant breeds of dogs. Something like the difference between a Chow and a Chihuahua, right? I mean, dogs are all very similar to one another. Humans and chimps are 98.8, right? But dogs, I mean, we're talking about the breeds within the same species. So I would press X to doubt on that from Eddie here. I think Eddie is actually the atheist in the room. So Bubble's actually going to come back here in a second, but let's let them continue, and we'll intersperse our snide comments.
I'm gonna need a citation on that, but I'm not gonna say you're wrong. When I hear little blurbs, I've heard so many blurbs.
There it is. Oh, that's a dead guy. I'll take your gun, I'll take your killer armor, because I can. I'll take your night viz. Or not. I see where you are, bitch. How did you not kill me? Come on out from behind that fucking thing, you bitch. Got him. Dumbass. Oh. There's no... He's definitely in there. Yep, there is. Alright. Pretty sure he knows how to swift my shot. Pretty sure. Does he think I'm in there with him? Do you know, I think he does. Edge. There it is. Oh, that's a dead guy. I'll take your gun. I'll take your killer armor. Because I can. I'll take your night viz. Or not. I see where you are, bitch. How did you not kill me? Come on out from behind that fucking thing, you bitch. Got him. Dumbass. Oh. There's no... He's definitely in there. Yep, there is. Alright. Pretty sure he knows how to swift my shot. Pretty sure. Does he think I'm in there with him? Do you know, I think he does. Edge. There it is. Oh, that's a dead guy. I'll take your gun. I'll take your killer armor. Because I can. I'll take your night viz. Or not. I see where you are, bitch. How did you not kill me? Come on out from behind that fucking thing, you bitch. Got him. Dumbass. Oh. There's no... He's definitely in there. Yep, there is. Alright. Pretty sure he knows how to swift my shot. Pretty sure. Does he think I'm in there with him? Do you know, I think he does. Edge. There it is. Oh, that's a dead guy. I'll take your gun. I'll take your killer armor. Because I can. I'll take your night viz. Or not. I see where you are, bitch. How did you not kill me? Come on out from behind that fucking thing, you bitch. Got him. Dumbass. Oh. There's no. He's definitely in there. Yep, there is. Alright.
But yeah, I mean, the young Earth creationist and theistic evolutionist here, John and Sunflower, are completely correct. What's not, or what Bubble said is incomprehensibly bad. This is just an objective truth. Like you could go out and breed too much now, and you would have offspring that is just incredibly healthy. 9 times out of 10, that's an arbitrary number, but mutts are very healthy compared to purebreds, and their offspring are, I mean, they'll just breed like rabbits.
Dude, mutts do not.
No. Okay, look, if you try to give like, if you get like
mutts have more genetic diversity than the purebred dog.
No, what happens
Are you just trolling us? Mutts are not infertile.
No, look, if you try to mix a German Shepherd with a Chihuahua, the child is like comes out really retarded.
No, that's not true.
It does, because it like
making things up
Okay,
now.
hold on, Sunflower, hang on. Bubble, are you suggesting that a German Shepherd actually can physically mate with a Chihuahua, or it requires artificial insemination?
well, through artificial insemination, of course, but it can still breed. But in the Chihuahua has birthing issues.
Okay, so from a artificial selection perspective, something's being done by an external agent, in this context, a human. You're suggesting that has some, just because they of the same, because they're the same kind of animal, they are genetically compatible. Like the egg and sperm can join and fertilize and whatnot. But yes, there's massive ramifications because in the natural environment they wouldn't be able to mate, would they? Because the German Shepherd's penis would literally not fit inside of the Chihuahua.
Thank you for that, John. I'm glad to hear. He is right, but you know, that's just this is very, very interesting. Again, this section right here, because by the logic of these guys, right? By the logic of John, young Earth creationist, this would mean that for all intents and purposes, right, humans and chimps might be the same kind as well, because even though mechanically speaking, this is going to be mechanical isolation, reproductive isolation, in a precoital sense, right? A Chihuahua can't physically breed with a German Shepherd. They anatomically are not going to fit together. Humans and chimps would be the same way, but theoretically speaking, there has been work done on this idea. Thank God it's theoretical, but that artificial insemination would potentially yield a viable organism, which would make them the same kind, wouldn't it? It's like none of this is at all consistent with itself, right? These guys don't know what the kinds are. They don't know where the lines are. They don't know whether geographic isolation or reproductive isolation play into whether or not an animal is within, or two animals are within the same kind or across kinds. And Bubble bringing this up in the realm of dog breeds is just a beautiful, incredible example of how inconsistent a lot of these creationists really are. To them, it's so obvious that dogs are within the same kind and that they descended from wolves. But they can't tell you why this doesn't extend past the past the family level. I just choked on my own spit because I was getting so fired up. So let's continue.
Yeah, because they're not meant for each other.
Okay, so why the hell are you using them as an example?
Because I'm trying to show they're not meant for each other.
Bubble, what about the massive market for like mixed bred dogs? People love to mix. They create names. Yorkie poo, Like, you know,
Yeah, and that has
Labradoodle.
disease. And that creates
Labradoodle.
disease. That creates
How
disease.
does that create disease? These are thriving
dude,
dogs.
mutts are known to be healthier than pure
Yeah,
breeds. You do
well, have
know
you ever
that?
heard the phrase
this is false.
mongrel vigor? Wait, Bubble, have you ever heard the phrase mongrel vigor?
No, this combining that mutts
Have
are
you ever
healthier
heard the
is
phrase
false.
mongrel
Okay,
vigor?
okay, Bubble,
No.
Bubble, hang on. Bubble, you're being ridiculous, dude. How much do you want to bet right now? Let's make a bet on whether or not mutts are recognized to be healthier or less healthy than pure breeds.
No one there. Stop it. Stop it. Polly, shut up. Get. Get. Get.
Outside of the context of dogs, right? So it's very, very, very interesting to watch because his logic will go his logical plausible probable ability to reason will go so far as to reason this out that yes, dogs are compatible with one another. Yes, dogs descended from wolves. All of this makes sense. And to some degree, he seems to be able to work out that just because something is reproductively isolated insofar as mechanically two organisms can't fit, doesn't mean they're not related, right? So he's comfortable saying just because they can't hybridize naturally in the sense that they physically can't fit together, that they're still related, even though you have to have artificial insemination to aid that along. In the same way, I know that most creationists would consider Asian elephants and African elephants to be related, even though they are geographically isolated from one another. So if hybridizability doesn't decide the kinds, and it doesn't, because a lot of these guys would additionally consider pandas to be within the bear kind, and pandas can't hybridize with grizzlies, or again, the previous example of lions and tigers. Even though they can reason it insofar as to say, yes, okay, we've got these kinds. If it's not reproductive isolation, and it's not geographic isolation, and there's no genetic line that they can draw, what decides the kinds? They obviously get the concept. This illustrates that they get the concept. So what is it? What are the limits of evolution? I don't know. Good question. I would say that by and large, at least with the extant life that we have today, there aren't any. But I'm not the one trying to overturn the paradigm, now am I?
Okay, I got $10. I'll bet you $10.
You want to bet $10?
Yeah.
You're gonna Venmo me.
Yeah, I actually have it.
Okay. There's witnesses. You're gonna Venmo me $10.
Yeah, I just feel like Bubble trolls. He gets bored and trolls people. I don't know.
No, because God has clearly put barriers.
Okay,
so he's got
thanks to their mixed genes, mutts are less likely to have received a high dose of any particular breed's genes. Because of this, many mutts have lower rate of health conditions such as hip dysplasia, spinal diseases, knee problems, certain cancers, heart disease, and more than their purebred counterparts. So
there you go.
Let me find mine.
I'd love to see your. I can't wait to see Bubbles, a source that doesn't exist.
The Sunflower and John are sitting here like, I'm sure that the response that I'm going to get from this person that is objectively wrong is going to be very robust and definitely not a misinterpretation of of some existing source that doesn't actually say what Bubble wants it to say. Can you taste the irony in the air of what's about to happen?
Well, it's my history, so you're gonna have to give me a while. Let's just talk about something for the meantime, and then we'll get back to